We still got a long way ahead of the Ballon d'Or. But if we were to talk who is in the lead right now, it is probably the tightest you'll ever get. It's probably the tightest you'll ever get, if I'm being honest. Because the candidates I think right now is up there. I think we got Messi, Mbappe, Yamal. I'm not putting them in order, guys. I'm not putting them in order. I'm just saying who who is up there right now, especially after the World Cup and everything. Who is up there talking about the season and the World Cup? Who is up there? In my opinion, we got Messi, Mbappe, we got Yamal, we got Olise, we got Rodri, and I think we'll leave it there. So we got Messi, Mbappe, Olise, Messi, Mbappe, Olise, Yamal, and Rodri. I would say those are the 5 top ones, in my opinion. First, we got Messi. Unbelievable World Cup. Unbelievable World Cup. Stats were there. At his age, unbelievable World Cup. He showed why he is, if not, maybe, if not the best player in the world. That's the first one. That's Messi. He had a very good World Cup season, decent season, not the best season, but decent season, but he backed it off with the World Cup. Now we got Mbappe, who had an extraordinary season. Even though Real Madrid didn't get any titles, even though Madrid didn't do the best, his individual performance, because that's what the Ballon d'Or is. It's individual performance. Individual performance, Mbappe's stats are unbelievable, off the chart. Got top scorer in La Liga, if I'm not mistaken. He got maybe near the top scorer of the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check that real quick. Champions League. Then we go to player stats. Yes. So he got top goal scorer in the Champions League, guys, which Real Madrid didn't even get to the final. Right? I think they got to like the quarterfinals. So he got top scorer in the Champions League, top scorer in the La Liga, and top scorer in the World Cup, guys. You telling me those might not even be enough to be in the Ballon d'Or talks? Come on, bro. That's crazy. Probably the top two biggest leagues in football, Champions League for the clubs and World Cup for the international. He got top scorer in both of them. If you don't put him at least top 3, then we need to talk, because he has to be either first or second at the moment because of his performance. It's incredible. So those are the two. The third one, Olise. Extraordinary Champions League that he had. Extraordinary season that he had. Olise, that even Real Madrid are willing to waste 200 million on him. Like, that's crazy. The other player that was worth that much, I mean, that got bought for that much, was Neymar, which broke the record of the highest. Neymar. You telling me Olise is on the same talk as Neymar? Prime Neymar? That is crazy. So with that alone, he has to be up there. He had an extraordinary World Cup. Yes, he didn't score, but what he done on the field and the assists that he done, amazing. And he done the same thing for his club, Bayern. Crazy goals, a lot of goals, and crazy amount of assists, stupid amount of assists. And yeah, so, and then we got Yamal. Yamal had an extraordinary season with Barcelona. Winning the La Liga, winning the Spanish trophies. and he had an extraordinary big part of it. He did drop after his injury, but that still does not write him off. He came to the World Cup. Yes, he didn't drop numbers. Yes, he didn't get crazy numbers like everybody expected him to get. But he done his part. He done his part in Spain. And if you don't watch the games, then you wouldn't know because the stats don't tell you. But if you watch the game, then you would see that Yamal played a big part, especially in their big wins against big teams. He played a very big part in every single one. But with his season, extraordinary season that he had, and the good World Cup, I wouldn't say extraordinary World Cup, I would say a good World Cup. And to top it off, won the World Cup trophy. History does not say that if you win the World Cup, you win Ballon d'Or, but still, it boosts. So, with those three, Yamal should be in the talks, as everybody knows that he should be in the talks. And then last one, Rodri. Why I say Rodri? Yes, for Man City, he didn't play nothing. He barely played for Man City due to injuries and a lot of stuff. And he didn't play for Man City a lot of the time for most of the season. However, when he did play, yes, he did impact the team, and yes, he played decent, but he wasn't the same Rodri from before the injury. But he comes into the World Cup with no pressure because people are not expecting crazy amount. Yes, they are expecting world-class player because he did win the Ballon d'Or already, guys. But people were like, "Oh, he's not the same. He's not the same Rodri. Rodri doesn't play the same as the season that he won the Ballon d'Or. He dropped a lot." Yes, maybe he did for Man City. For Man City. But this guy for Spain in this World Cup, extraordinary. Extraordinary what he done for Spain in this World Cup. And he got if I'm not mistaken, let me check. And he got the Golden Ball. Rodri got the Golden Ball for this World Cup, which I think is very well deserved because he played the biggest part in Spain winning the big games that they won against Portugal, against France, against Argentina. The last 3 games, he played a very big part, and even in the previous games. He had an extraordinary World Cup, and if you don't watch Spain's games, then you wouldn't know. But he had an extraordinary World Cup. He is the reason why Spain was so good in the back. Spain was so dominant in the midfield. He was the reason, and he played a big part in that reason, and why Spain barely suffered goals in the World Cup. I think they suffered like 1 or 2 goals in the World Cup. In the whole World Cup, guys, extraordinary. And he played a very, very big part, which got him the Golden Ball, which is like one of the best awards in the whole of World Cup. He got that award, and Spain won the World Cup. So we have to see what he does ahead when he goes back to the club and this shit. But with this World Cup, he went from super low to extraordinary and talking and on the talks for the Ballon d'Or. And I'm being honest. People might say no. People might say you being biased or you pushing him too high. But no, because if you're a person like me that watched Spain's literally almost Spain's every single game, except from like the first 2 games, I think, of the group stage. If you watch, especially the knockouts, all of the games of the knockouts of Spain, then you would not say that. Because Rodri played a huge part in why Spain dominated teams like they dominated. And he is a very big reason of why they done it in the middle of the park and defense-wise. So those are my 5, and I think like they're very, very close, because if Messi had won the World Cup, then he would probably be charged up ahead. But he played an awful performance in the World Cup final. He played an extraordinary World Cup, but not a crazy season. So that puts him in like the middle. And then you got Mbappe, who had an extraordinary season, just not with titles, but extraordinary season and an extraordinary World Cup, winning him the top scorer. And then you got Olise, crazy season for Olise, extraordinary season for Olise in Bayern Munich, and he comes to the World Cup and performs extraordinary in the World Cup. And then you got Yamal, who done an extraordinary season as well, but comes into the World Cup and doesn't do as great as people thought he would do, but he still played a big part and still won the World Cup. And then you got Rodri, who I just talked about, and didn't do barely anything in the season, but had an extraordinary World Cup, winning him the Golden Ball and the World Cup. So if I'm being honest, they were all like almost leveled. I think the person that would be ahead of everybody is Mbappe, if I'm being honest. Yes, Yamal, yes, Rodri, they won World Cups, but I don't think World Cup should push you all the way on top of Mbappe, because Mbappe just shows levels. Yes, his team didn't win this, didn't win that, but that's the team. He showed that individually, he's that guy. He is that guy. He puts stats that nobody thinks of even putting. So, if we talk about who's racing up ahead, I think Mbappe is all the way up there, my boy. But it's a very even. After this World Cup, there's a big controversy of there's a big talk of who's gonna win the World Cup, because now it could go either way. This World Cup changed everything and could go either way for a lot of players, especially after the performance that they done in the World Cup, because there was very good performances in the World Cup, and there was also non-great performances. So yeah, that's my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about who is closer to the Ballon d'Or, and who should be all the way up there. If there should be anybody else, maybe there is. Maybe I left out some valuable players. Also, I appreciate everybody watching. I really do. If you watch 1 minute of my video, I really do appreciate it a lot. And I hope you guys enjoy my videos. Go watch the main channel. Go watch my gaming one. There was content coming out those. So if you want to watch more, I'll be very appreciated if you go to either channel. And if you watch from this channel, it don't matter. I really appreciate everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.